Back on the Pete the Planner Show. We'll hit the biggest waste of money of the week in just a moment. But I want to do a public service before we get there and to tell you why you should never give a 9-year-old child your phone number. Just at the recording of this show, between the break, I checked my voicemail from my home phone number, expecting a loving message from Mrs. Planner. Instead, I got my 9-year-old daughter leaving me the following voicemail.
Banana. What are you doing, frog dancing? Banana. What are you doing, frog dancing? Banana. What are you doing, frog dancing? Banana. What are you doing, frog dancing?
Don't ever give your phone number to your children. Nicole, not only will that probably delay you having children, but hopefully you've learned never to give your phone number to a 9-year-old.
I have learned both things today.
Yes, excellent.
Weird.
All right, so biggest waste of money of this week, and then we're going to talk about some Supreme Court stuff.
Oh.
It's going to get serious.
Serious.
This week's biggest waste of the money of the week is the Landmodo automatic car tent. Keep your car protected from the scorching sun with the Landmodo automatic car tent. Available in a variety of sizes to fit different vehicles, it mounts quickly and easily to the top of your car and unfolds in just 8 seconds with the push of a button. In addition to keeping your car cool, it also protects against hail, bird droppings. So basically it says, oh, hail no. You're like, oh, hail no.
Yeah, I get you.
Bird droppings and other falling objects. And should you opt for the all-in-one package, you can also set it on a stand and attach side curtains to create a full-sized tent.
What?
Starting at $299. Nicole,
I don't get it.
I don't get
just
it.
don't get it.
my only thought is that this is for like living in Phoenix,
Okay.
where the sun is so brutal that it just brutalizes the paint in your car and all of this. But looking at this thing,
I don't
how's
get
it gonna?
it.
Are that many people getting their cars hailed on all the time? Like I have
Right?
hail damage on one of our cars, but I was on the highway in a traffic jam. Like what I'm like, throw on the brakes, put on my Landmodo car tent, and be like, hold on, y'all.
Well, that I was even thinking of like for when I go to the music festivals and we do the quote unquote glamping.
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't even no.
So there's no functionality of like you being under the tent. It's a
No.
tent for your car. And by the way, it protects your car from bird droppings. Guess what then has bird droppings on it?
Right. So then you're folding up this tent that's got the bird droppings on it, and heaven only knows how long those are going to be there.
Things I don't want to touch. Bird droppings.
Ew.
If bird droppings are on my car, spray it off. But if I'm folding up this Landmodo automatic car tent, there's bird droppings all over. And also, other falling objects, how strong is this tent? Like what, a piano?
I have questions.
What is falling on cars?
And how big is it? Like, where do you store it? Like,
It's a giant waste of money.
It is. It literally is.
So anyway, Landmodo automatic car tent. Don't buy one. All right, hey, let's talk about something that everyone's been asking me about, and I feel like I should weigh in some capacity.
Yeah.
So this is off the Washington Post story this week that Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh piled up credit card debt by purchasing Washington Nationals tickets. Okay, so Nicole, did you hear this story?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I missed it.
you don't read the Washington Post?
I try to. It's funny, I'm on the social medias for
Yeah.
for our company, but other than that, I stay off the social
It's
medias.
fine. Here's what happens. There has to be a financial disclosure for anyone in this sort of position. And
Right.
in 2019, on financial disclosures, Brett Kavanaugh, this person who was just nominated to be the next justice of the Supreme Court, Kavanaugh reported having between $60,000 and $200,000 in debt accrued over 3 credit cards and a loan. Each credit card held between $15,000 and $50,000 in debt, and he had a thrift savings plan loan that was somewhere between $15,000 and $50,000. Let's talk about this. The credit card debts and loans were either paid off or fell below the reporting requirements in 2017, according to the filings. And Kavanaugh's friends, the person who did this report through the White House, said that Shaw told the Post that Kavanaugh's friends reimbursed him for their share of the baseball tickets that he purchased on these credit cards, and then he was able to repay those loans. But there's additional information here that is interesting. Kavanaugh's most recent financial disclosure forms reveal reportable assets between $15,000 and $65,000, which put him at the bottom of the financial rankings of justices. So this is one of the people the best in his field has $15,000 to $65,000 in reportable assets, but he also listed well over $1 million in assets in. Pardon me, I said that wrong. Most of all the other justices list over $1 million in assets, but he does have a government retirement account worth nearly $500,000 that was not required to be listed in the disclosure. He also has nearly $1 million between the equity in his home and his retirement account. So let's discuss how much money a person should have. Should an American be concerned about what I just read in the Washington Post? Nicole, of course, I will put it to you.
Yes.
Are you at all concerned about what you've just heard in the Washington Post, which all are facts? These are factual things in a disclosure. You can either interpret them to be good or bad or indifferent. Do you care? What do you think?
Right. I think it's one of those I still don't completely know the level of gravity that this carries. I don't know how or what this could insinuate, between his money practices and the position that he would fill.
Sure.
It kind of raises some concern that there are things coming out, regardless of someone stepping into something like this. But I guess I'm not familiar enough with it to know completely or to have a total opinion.
So here's what I think.
Yeah.
And that's fair. That's
yeah.
fair. But what I like, what you didn't do is, and I don't know how you feel about him one way or the other. I mean, who really cares? I guess we don't know enough about him, and we don't know
Right.
enough about his financial situation. I do believe what people do with their personal finances does sort of color what sort of judgment they have altogether.
Right.
That being said, I think people make a lot of dumb mistakes. I think putting baseball tickets on a credit card and carrying that balance for any period of time until your friends pay you back, that's sort of a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Right? I don't really like that. I will also say that having between $15,000 and $65,000 of reportable assets outside of retirement accounts and equity in your home for someone who's in their mid-50s and has been at the top of their profession, that kind of bothers me.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great. Doesn't look great for him,
I think the thing that bothers me the most, and I know nothing about it other than the number, and this is really my hang up, but culturally people do this, is he has a thrift savings plan, which is essentially a 401k loan between $15,000 and $50,000. It doesn't make a lot of sense to take a 401k loan or a thrift savings plan loan and to carry, no matter what it is. If you have a hardship, maybe.
Right.
And again, I don't know their situation. Maybe there's a major medical issue where I don't know. The finances here, they don't concern me. I don't know this person's particular politics or judgment in terms of the courts one way or the other, nor do I particularly, I care, but I don't care, right?
I know, I'm with you.
But from a financial standpoint, I think this is weird, but it's not shady.
Yeah. If the numbers were bigger, or if there were, I don't know, people couldn't read into totally of if there were numbers were bigger and people didn't know what had caused those or something, maybe, yeah, like if he was trying to hide something.
Yeah.
But I feel with the numbers being that low, there's not necessarily something that could be hidden with this.
I can't say he has poor judgment.
Right.
I can say it's weird, it's not shady, and I will draw, with a minute remaining here, there are some contrast between what I've seen here and my feelings about it and what you see in like Marco Rubio's disclosure. His stuff isn't shady, but it's dumb.
Yeah.
Like he got a book advance for writing a book and bought a boat, like a $50,000 boat. Yet he had all this other debt. Like his personal finance decisions, I can look at his disclosure. I look at these disclosures all the time. Vice President Pence's disclosure, super interesting because his biggest asset is his state pension, right?
Oh.
Richard Lugar,
Yeah.
famed senator from Indiana, he's one of the greatest disclosures ever because he refused, once he got into office, to ever own a share of stock because he felt like his decisions could influence that. So anyway,
Interesting.
that's it. That's all we have time for this week. Thanks for joining us. Go to PeteThePlanner.com to learn more. Sending you good vibes because good vibes are all that's in the budget. This is the Pete the Planner Show, and I'm Pete the Planner.